The West Ham vice-chairman Karen Brady has felt the need to make herself feel important now that she's no longer on television, and she's actually writing in the Sun newspaper, which says it all. But she has backed Ange Postecoglou to take the English Premier League by storm, the same way it has in Scotland. Now I'm going to give you two reasons why Ange Postecoglou won't be leaving Celtic this summer, and I'm going to give you an update on Cameron Carter-Vickers also. But let's first of all talk about Celtic, and we'll talk about the way that we played this season. And I know the season's not over yet and we haven't got the trophy in our hand, but it is what we've got our hand out ready to grab it this weekend. But let's look back at the defensive duties first of all, and I'm going to give you an indication. I'm going to talk about the reason I'm talking about is defence is obviously because Cameron Carter-Vickers has been pictured coming back to Scotland. So when we look back at the start of the season, we'll get on to the Karen Brady thing in a minute and the Ange Postecoglou news and an update on why he will be staying as Celtic manager this season and next season. So the first game we played some friendlies in Vienna, if you remember, and the first game was 3-3, and then the second game was 4-2. We played Blackburn Rovers, which was 2-2, and then from that, we won the first one was actually 7-0, sorry, remember that, and then we played Legia Warsaw, which was 2-2, and then Norwich County, we beat Norwich 2-0. And then we start the league season and everything's hunky-dory. We start scoring goals and defensively we're quite good. Ross County gets the first goal against us in the league on the Saturday the 6th of August. And then nobody scores against us until Ross County again, which is on the Wednesday. That was up in Ross County, that game. So but by that time we had scored 9 against Dundee United. So on paper and on the sort of the outskirts of it, things were looking good. It comes up to the big test, if you like, the first test of the season is when we play Rangers, and we beat them 4-0. And you think, yeah, maybe we could actually maybe do something in the Champions League, it was knocked right back on our head because the first game up was, of course, Real Madrid, and then we got beat 3-0 by them. And you can't really compare anything to what Real Madrid do to you as a team because they're on a different level. But we did play Shakhtar Donetsk away from home. We drew 1-1 with them. It was important that we scored that away goal, but we weren't the best in defence. We managed to get to the Leipzig game, and Leipzig actually beat us 3-1. We beat St Johnstone that weekend 2-1, but then it goes to Leipzig again, and Leipzig again beat us 2-0. So defensively in Europe, we weren't there. We weren't at the races. Now, has Ange Postecoglou given us a little insight into how Celtic will play in the Champions League next season? And if you look back to the Rangers game just a couple of weeks ago, if you look back at the second half predominantly, and you look at the way that Ange Postecoglou reacted after the game. Now, he was super excited after the game. He was totally ecstatic, and as you would be that we got there to the final. But was the real reason that he was that ecstatic was that his plan came together. He's been working on all season, and I mean, after the humiliation of the Champions League, it has to be said that we needed to work on something defensively, and I think that Rangers game would give us a good indication. Now we'll put our hands up and say, yep, they had this kind of pegged back for a good part of the second half, but defensively we coped. We didn't look in trouble. If this had been last season, you could guarantee that Rangers might have put a couple of goals past us and maybe even won that game. But we were really strong in defence, and I think that was what the manager was most pleased about. Going forward from that, Cameron Carter-Vickers, he's obviously been carrying an injury which we didn't know about until a couple of weeks ago when it was leaked, and the manager wasn't too happy about that. But he has been photographed at Glasgow Airport. He's been photographed on crutches. Now, my brother's had knee injury. He's had 2 knee surgeries, keyhole surgery, and it looks like Cameron Carter-Vickers has had keyhole surgery also. The fact that he's walking on the crutches, he's only strapped up, he's not stooked up or anything like that, so he will be back. The manager says he will be back for the start of the season. It looks like he will be back for pre-season training, and that's why they wanted him in as quick as they could. That's great news for him, but talking about defensively again, we do have Carl Starfelt who's going to get moved position to his preferred side. We have Kobe Ashley that's going to come in between now and the end of the season. Will that give the team a better balance? But I'm going to give you 2 hints about the fact that why I think Ange Postecoglou will be staying next season as Celtic manager, and he won't be going there. First of all, we'll look at Postecoglou and what he told the Scottish press just a couple of months ago, addressing the speculation about interest from the Premier League. And as Karen Brady's West Ham, she's obviously trying to lay the ground bare and sort of testing the water, as they say, to see if there's any chance that he might fancy a little job done in England for a bit more money. And she went on to say in her interview that, you know, outside Celtic and Rangers, there's not many stadiums over 20,000 people. Well, there's not many stadiums over 20,000 people in England, but she does go and state the 150 million a year deal that they have, and blah blah blah, who cares. Ange Postecoglou did say a couple of weeks ago, he said, this was his exact words: if people are talking about my future or are interested in my future, I will sit here and listen, said the Celtic manager. But it doesn't mean I am going to jump at anything that comes my way. I am still here, even though people have been getting me out the door ever since I came in. I think you'll be surprised on how long I'm here. I am just consumed by what I do. I want to try and make this football club the best it can be, enjoy every minute of it. Now, the second reason that Ange Postecoglou will not be leaving Celtic as next season or even during the summer, it's the tour of Japan. Ange Postecoglou is running the club at every level. He knows what's going on at every level of the club. You do not come in and you do not have that authority at the club. The last person to have such authority was probably Martin O'Neill. Now, Celtic announced the tour of Japan, which includes friendly against Yokohama, now coached by Kevin Muscat. There's little chance of the manager not going to Japan or not going to Korea. You know, he wants to, if he's got any intention of going to Japan, he has totally endorsed this trip 100%. He is not walking out this door this summer. There's absolutely no chance of that. So back to the Cameron Carter-Vickers stuff. It's great to see him, and it's great to see him back. I think that Ange Postecoglou, when you just look at those two things, and if you look at the way that Celtic played against Rangers, I think that gives us a little bit of an indication on how we'll play in the Champions League next year. We're going to be a bit more defensive minded than we were. We were a bit naive in the Champions League this year. It was our first time in the Champions League for seasons. It was the first time that Ange Postecoglou had managed in the Champions League, and I think what the build up and what they've been doing in training over the past couple of months came to fruition at the Rangers game at the semi-final, and that gives us an indication on how the team will perform, hopefully in the Champions League, when our backs are up against it. You know, we are defensively as a unit, we all come back and we make it really hard for teams. We do to what teams do to us on a weekly basis. We are going to be doing that in the Champions League and make it really hard for us to break down. Now, obviously the Rangers did have that one opportunity where they missed an open goal. Champions League level, that's going to be a goal all day long. So there is the positives. I think the positives that is Ange Postecoglou will not be leaving this summer. Karen Brady can say what she wants. Those two indications that I've just talked about, the fact that Ange did say that a couple of months ago, the fact that he set up this tour, the third fact is that the way that we played against the Rangers, and he was so happy at the end of the game. And I think the joy did not only come from getting to the final, but the joy that was all the hard work that we've done all season defensively. He's up there going, yep, I'm getting this team just about where I want them, getting ready for the Champions League. So that's why I think Ange Postecoglou will still be Celtic manager this season and next season. The media can say whatever they want, speculation can be out there. He's not going anywhere. Sit back, enjoy the summer when it comes. Enjoy the Hearts game tomorrow. I think I might do a live from the studio tomorrow after the game. I'm actually having to go to the airport as soon as the game finishes tomorrow. I've got to do an airport run, so I won't be able to do, and I'll probably not be doing anything at the pub either. So what I might do is tomorrow evening around about, I don't know, say about 7 o'clock. I'll put it up on the community tab anyway before I go live. So keep an eye out for it. I'll do the morning video as normal, the Celtic news video as normal in the morning. But I think if we do get the result tomorrow afternoon, we'll do a little championship party live here on the One Celtic Fans View channel. So on that note, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure that you subscribe, and I shall see you on the next video.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to